welcome to another episode of SVG Sports Tech On Demand. I'm Jason Dackman, Chief Editor at SVG, and we're going to be talking about one of the most exciting new arrivals in the broadcast and media sector over the last few years, and that's Epic Games' Unreal Engine. We're here with Bernt Johannessen from Epic Games. He's the industry manager for broadcast and live events. Look, first of all, Bernt, thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me.
So over the last few years, like I mentioned, as Unreal and gaming engines have made their way into the live sports production and just overall media space, we've seen some really cool visuals, some really cool real-time experiences that just weren't possible before. So let's start out with, how have you seen the industry embrace Unreal, and how have you seen the ability of customers to create these experiences advance pretty dramatically?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, it's mind-blowing is what it is. It's absolutely incredible to see essentially what our customers and also our partners have enabled and have done using our technology. You know, Unreal Engine at its core it's a game engine. It's been continuously evolving and improving, but still with a focus on producing some of the most popular games ever made. But the reality is that there is such a big overlap now, especially with the photorealism that you achieve within a game and what you really want within media, within broadcast.
Right.
So I think that it's been kind of a very natural adoption. There's been a demand from the market in a system that allows them to really kind of put their audience so much more closer to what's happening in the stories they're trying to tell. So Epic Games have been very fortunate in having great partners that have taken the technology, have filled in some of the gaps that are required, especially for broadcast. But at the essence of it, the customers were there and they wanted it, and they've taken it and really done some amazing things with it.
Sure. Well, let's kind of talk about that a little bit. In addition to these really great visuals that fans and viewers have been able to see at the end point, in terms of production pipeline and things, that has really been altered as well. So what are some of the benefits and big changes that you've seen your users introduce in their pipelines and workflows as a result of bringing in Unreal Engine?
Right. Well, I think actually, talking about pipeline, I think actually one of the most important things about Unreal is the fact that it's a free product. Anybody can go to unreal.com, they can download it. And we've seen, tens of thousands of artists, both within media and outside media, who have done just that out of curiosity and just to learn themselves a new skill. It's being taught in schools. It's really kind of become almost a norm in real-time 3D graphics. And I think that creative talent and that kind of curiosity and creativity has been unleashed essentially by having this tool mastered by so many people. And I think when you then apply it, and maybe specifically to sports, and sports has always been kind of early adopters. There's just so many stories you could tell with sports. It's so fortunate. It's got so much data. It's got so much action. So I think it's just been amazing to see kind of how you can combine that creative talent with production and data, and then basically be able to enhance and tell those stories in such a more immersive way.
Sure. Yeah, so I mean, we've seen in the sports world, we've seen some really advanced projects like Fox Sports virtual studio for their NASCAR coverage built on Unreal, which has been just really was crazy when you first saw it. You're like, I can't believe this is virtual. So with Fox and with some of the other customers who are using, Unreal, what do you think it's enabled them to do that just wasn't possible before?
Well, I think that the technology is there and the capabilities are there. I mean, they are now able to essentially take the content they have, but really kind of produce in such a more realistic way. And it really transforms both how they do their studios, where their studios are all of a sudden so much more immersive and so much more interactive. And there is really kind of only the imagination that limits them in terms of how they can utilize those studios. but it goes also beyond the studios, and it goes into to the outside broadcast as well, where you're seeing how they can, take visuals and do crazy effects like we saw for the Super Bowl opening sequence. And it really is the imagination which is the limiting factor, and that hasn't been a big limiting factor, to be honest. The imagination is there, and the technology is there. So I mean, for Epic and for the Unreal Engine, we're really kind of pushing the boundaries as hard as we can. But what is a bit different now is that there are a lot of these adjacent markets, such as broadcast, which is being taken a lot more seriously for the Unreal Engine. So we're actually investing quite a lot in capabilities that are maybe a bit more specific towards those industries than it was in the past. So I think that we're seeing also more and more of this, and we're really kind of focused both on supporting our partners that have provided amazing service to top tier broadcasters around the world, but we're also wanting to democratize the use of Unreal. We really want to get it into the hands of everybody, including YouTubers who are sitting at home creating really professional looking broadcasts.
Sure. Yeah. And, you talk about that democratization, especially within the broadcast space. And you could imagine colleges and smaller sports media outlets using, Unreal for these types of things. So I'm curious, what can we expect from you guys specifically within the sports and media sector, coming down in the next few years? How can we expect Unreal to continue to evolve and therefore allow your users to continue to evolve?
Well, I mean, pretty much everybody has kind of seen some glimpses of what we're working on. I mean, we're about to release our next version of the Unreal Engine, the 4.2.7. It comes with a bunch of enhancements that are also specific for broadcast. We've implemented support now natively in the product, for instance, for tracking with 3D protocol, with lens distortion, a lot of the things that weren't there, but are needed, especially for high-end AR and XR experiences. We've also seen highlights or previews of what's coming in 5, which really is the next generation of rendering platform. And we're obviously super excited to bring that also to the broadcast market. Again, I don't even have any idea of where our customers and partners will take it, but I can assure you I will be amazed. And then beyond that, I think that we're still heavily working together with partners to try and create bespoke solutions for the challenges at hand. But I really also do look forward and see that there is an increasing interest and demand for even more immersive experiences, where we're talking VR and we're talking kind of really putting the audiences into the action itself, into locations where physically they cannot be anyway. And I think that this is an area where also the Unreal Engine will play a very vital role. We can already kind of teleport people anywhere essentially, but the ability to kind of bring the action so much closer in such an immersive way, I think will have a tremendous impact on sports broadcast specifically.
Yeah, well, I mean, you said it. The only limiting factor is people's imaginations, right? So if they can think it, you guys can make it work with Unreal. So, Bernt, I really appreciate you taking the time. I know that there's so much going on with you guys over at Epic, and especially on the Unreal side. It's just really exciting. So please stay in touch as the new release comes along, and hopefully we'll be able to do this in person someday soon. But until then, please stay safe, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Jason.